Right, a wonderful day for the metals and the miners. And I don't just mean gold, I mean silver. I don't want to say especially platinum and palladium, platinum, I think, especially copper, I think it was red, but wasn't just gold, put it that way. Silver also is starting to pick up. We'll cover that soon. Otherwise, market's boring, sideways, a little bit red. Didn't think that really had much of an effect on the metals or the miners. Dollar was down, closing at low of day, whilst gold was closing at high of day. I think the dollar had a small impact, but it wasn't down that much, and the metals were up huge. And we've seen the metals go up. I mean, gold especially, but we've seen them go up regardless of what the dollar does. So I don't want to spend too long on the dollar, but it should be sort of bouncing around here, right? It should be support zone. It's also right on the 100, even though it closed at low of day. If for whatever reason we keep going down, 99 is the next level. You can see we've sort of bounced off this 99-ish zone. And at that point, it would look bearish. It might bounce a little bit, but it's almost destined to test and flush 98, which should only help gold. But anyway, that's enough the dollar. Let's get straight to gold. Actually, before we do that, very quickly, something I regret not covering before, yields. Look at the 30 year. If that closes, and it could do it tomorrow. In fact, it should have maybe done it today, but if that closes above 5, which again I think is going to happen this week. Next up is 520, and by the way, 520 we've never really closed above, and we haven't been there for years, decades. Can I say decades? Ever since the bond sort of bull market reversed. So these are yields, the opposite of bonds. So, yields have been going up ever since the end of the bond bull market. And yeah, we take out 5.2. That should be absolute fireworks. That's the most important market out of all of them. I think it's more than the stock market and real estate market combined. This is the most important thing. And we're getting to serious levels here. And if this goes up, market goes down. It just has to pretty much. And well, with the market going down, gold's sort of benefited and gone up. So that could only further propel gold up. Silver, never know. Probably go up actually with gold. But yeah, watch out for the 30 year. The others are sort of behind by quite a few days. The 10 years far from its 5% high. But once the 30 year does its move to 5.2, the 10 year will be up here at 4.8 probably. And then it's just one stop before 5, and everyone's going to be talking about it. So it'll probably happen quickly. So watch out with yields. 5 and 2s, whatever, they're way, you know, the short end of the curve is just really weak because yields are going to be cut by the Fed. Everyone expects that. Trump wants that. They'll do it if there's a financial crisis. It's kind of inevitable, even though inflation, we're in stagflationary period. So, but I think the 2 year makes sense that it doesn't go up as much. But the long end, the 30 year, that's going to happen, I think. And it's not just America. Look at Japan. Jesus, you see the 20, 30, and 40 year. They're already making new highs. This is financial market breaking stuff. I thought I was going to cover gold and the miners, but this is actually more relevant. So keep your eye on that. The European yields are not that bad, but Japan and America, I think in particular, they'll be the first ones to give way. All right, let's get straight to it. And actually, before I cover gold, let's just look at platinum. Look at this descending medium-term resistance. Look at that. That's wild. Just total breakout. This has been really slow and boring. Today, I don't even know what the news is. This is probably news, but that's just wild. Just open at low of day, close at high of day, even close beyond this. Touched perfectly. Cannot be a coincidence. This descending, which is well drawn, if I can say so myself. Next up is going to be, 1,100 here, test that, then the next one will be there, etc., etc. I don't want to cover platinum in too much detail as I do the others because then it'll just take too long to cover everything. But that is significant for platinum. Palladium, same sort of thing. Took out its descending. Next stop, probably 1,040, and then all the way up to 1,200. Wow, that's crazy. Let's see, but today was, I don't know why, a big 4-5% move in those. That was impressive. Gold continued. It was sort of a little bit red in the morning. I like that. I like that sort of test the lows and don't breach it. And then boom, as the US markets open, it just goes up, up, up. Let's just check, go on the 3 minute chart. And then bam, we just move, we hold, break higher and close pretty much high of day. Beautiful stuff. So next up for gold, I think it's going to be the descending also. Probably be around 3,350 or something. That would be the next logical step. And then we just wait and see. Some news will happen. The dollar will do something, geopolitics, macro data, whatever, something will happen. And then sideways and break. I still think the trend is your friend, and we're going to test 3,500. And if we do, we're going to make new highs, which would be amazing. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much because this is just But anyway, this bounce here from the ascending was pretty impressive. So it makes sense. We go sideways, retest, and now honestly we should test the upside of the levels. So we've sort of proven that we're not ready to break down. All right, let's test the resistance. We still haven't really done that. So I still think gold continues. Now, silver. This is where it's time to get a little excited, maybe. Silver's been a bit boring, sort of been going up and down with the markets and gold, sort of being pushed and pulled either direction. But today was good. Today it outperformed gold, which is impressive. Normally it wouldn't be impressive. With gold is up, silver will be up more, but the markets were down and silver still beat gold. That's cool. We took out this mini descending. I don't know if it's that relevant, but that's good. Nice move. Closed a high of day. If we just close above this little level, this 33.3, let's say, that would be cool because we haven't taken out 33.7 in a while. If we can close above 33.7, it's on. The $35 break that everyone wants, that's your next target. So it only takes a little bit more and then it's like technically destined. So I'm getting a bit excited. We're all disappointed with silver. So, you get excited, but at the back of your mind, it's easy to get disappointed. But this is a very good first step, and gold looks like it wants to continue. So if gold has that little extra push of 30, 40, $50 to test as the upside, what does silver do? Probably going to be testing 33.7. And if we close above that, maybe silver can take the lead and push up gold to finish the breach of 3,500. So anyway, I'm quite excited. Now, miners, this is also quite cool. Look at this. Gap fill pretty much done. Perfect candle close at high of day. Testing, descending. They've all sort of got this actually. So we're kind of at resistance, right? Gap fill done, descending. But gold and silver are not at resistance. Gold has still got some to do. Silver has just taken its resistance out. So maybe we have another move. And if we have another move in the miners, we're taking out the descending. So it's sort of like one of them's done, the other one takes over. It can happen. We can go back up and test the highs. And to be honest, if we test the highs, we breached the highs. So GDX, beautiful day. I still think we have another move because of the metals, but otherwise it should be at resistance. GDXJ, same sort of thing, but we're still a bit more before it hits its resistance. But otherwise, you can see the gap fill. It's done it. So come on, a little bit more. SIL, that's usually a bit like GDX. That's pretty strong. The descending doesn't count here. So next stop is basically 42.5 all the way up here, you know, and that's actually that might be the first one to breach. And that might end up helping silver take out its next resistance. So yeah, maybe the miners help the metals and specifically silver, and then silver helps gold. Whatever, don't want to look into it too much, but this is definitely the strongest of the mining ETFs. SILJ, which is always the weakest one, that's pretty impressive. Descending closed absolutely on it at high of day. Again, gold and silver can do a little bit more. This will start closing probably above this little horizontal, and if that's what it does, you can maybe go up and test your high. And you know what? Maybe SIL and SILJ, the silver ETFs, maybe they're the ones that drag the gold ETFs. Maybe it's silver's turn to outperform like it did today, which is already a break from the past. Like during the day, SLV silver was underperforming gold, and to be honest, by the close, we've outperformed. So there's something there for the other metals, palladium, platinum. Can't forget those. The portfolio, pretty similar mix of the ETS we just saw. Newmont, beautiful, close a high of day, hasn't done its gap fill, but that's fine. I still think there's a bit of continuation. It's going to be gap fill, and then it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be 54 up here. It might be 54, but doesn't matter. Still got a big percent. A lot of them have got big percentage moves until they tested old highs. And my portfolio right now is like a couple $100 from my historic record, which I probably made back then if I think about it, or was it then? So I love that. It's like I'm at new record highs pretty much, even though I'm 10% away in Newmont, and same goes for the others across the board. Some of them even more. So that proves it's basically good trading. So very happy about that. So Newmont, now let's check Barrick, which is my heaviest holding. I was surprised to see that I added pretty strong down here, if you remember. So that's nice to see. It's up quite a bit from, yeah, 6, 7%. At a bit of a mini level. Next level is up here, 1950. I'd like to see that. It might be worth too much at that point. I may have to trim just to remove risk. I still think we're going all the way up, but it's just Risk management, the more you're in this, it becomes the number one um, task actually. But beautiful, close a high of day following the GDX. Agnico Eagle, beautiful, still hasn't gap closed. I still think, like I said, there's more in it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Agnico fills the gap tomorrow, maybe even pre-market, but prefer to see it during regular hours. Again, this one, the one that you'd expect to break out before any of the others, also more than 10% away from its old high. So I'm just so happy with my portfolio being where it is. I'd hate it if tomorrow we just have a big red day and we flush, to be honest. And like I said, I'm heavy in the gold miners and the silver miners are medium, and they're starting to be a bit heavier now because they have some of them had some very good moves. So yeah, Agnico, a bit like the others, very nice. Pan America, which is, I don't know, a mix of gold and silver, that came down a lot. Nice. That's my second heaviest holding. Long way to go back there. It's not going to do it, but I think it should be there. I don't think the news was bad. The acquisition of Mag. I don't really know much about all these miners. I probably know more than I let off, but I don't pretend to know that much, enough to be able to be a good judge of whether this was a worthwhile drop. But I just bought. Um, Next level is probably 25.50 if I just take a quick look. And to be honest, if silver breaks out, who cares about this? We're going to new highs, and that will be a massive move. And Pan America is a great company, 20% until we get to the old high. Jesus, it's going to be worth so much if I don't sell before it gets there, but I probably will. Pan America, very, very good. Love the stock, love the last buys, but it's hard to see it get there very quickly. Let's just see. Otherwise, today was a perfect day, close a high of day. Wheaton, wow, that's even better than Nico. Perfect day, open at low, close at high. Took out a level that I thought might be sort of, I don't know, I thought it would take effect during the day, but it didn't. We went straight through it. Next stop is up there. That doesn't seem like a big percentage move away. 4%, it can do that in one day. So Wheaton will be one of the first ones making new highs. Beautiful. It's worth a lot. Next is Franco Nevada, which is worth almost exactly the same by luck. That closed a high of day, did the gap fill. They've all got sort of similar stuff going on. Next up, we've got these two little levels, whatever. Doesn't seem much, but still, even this one quite a way away from its another one that's almost 10% away from its old high. So big move, still in it, and then you make new highs, and it'll probably run to 200 soon, to be honest. So those seniors, they're worth a lot for me. They're worth a lot. Heavy bags, so I'm happy to see it go up today. Metalla, on my little Excel spreadsheet, Metalla is the one that I'm supposed to buy. It's nowhere near worth as much as it should. It's the least valuable out of all of them, and I'm happy. I'm just holding. This one should be a buy, to be honest, but I'm heavy everywhere else. I don't need Metalla, so I like it being the light one, the featherweight. So yeah, Metalla just holding and also not that impressive. So another reason not to look into it too much. Next is the mid-tier Aris Mining. That's made a new all-time, 52-week high. I've said it, this one's the most impressive one. I wasn't willing to buy back because it was way too high, and there you go, boom, it's made new highs. Another sort of 3-4% today. It did 5 yesterday. It's destined to hit 650. I think I got my a little sell at 649, even though the real level is like 660. I should do 659. 649 trim, and then it's the last sell, and I just let it do whatever it wants to do because this is a wild stock and the chart is just makes no sense. So once we take out 660, I don't even know what's going to happen. And that could happen any day this week, to be honest. So I got to keep my eye on that one. That one's wild. But I welcome the move up. I am gold. Not, it's okay. Today was a good day. It hasn't done as well as the other miners, but that just means it has a bigger move in it left. So next stop, as soon as we take out this sort of, you can see we're at the descending, also the old sort of support and old resistance. Once we take out this sort of six, let's say 70 to be sure, bam, it should move all the way up to 740, I feel. And it's just another one that has, this is a great stock, a great company, 20, over 25% just to get to its old high. If gold makes new highs, if it's at 3,500 going to 3,600, this is making new highs also. So that's a guaranteed huge move if that happens. So I am gold. I'm loaded up on that one. Nowhere near as heavy as the other seniors, but still loaded up. Next is Equinox. Also loaded up on this one. Yeah, good day. Got to fill the gap now. One, two, three levels. So this one should just make new highs and sort of match gold, a bit like I am gold. So Equinox and I'm Gold I sort of see as brothers at the moment. They're probably totally different companies, but I I hold a position that is equal in both, basically. B2 Gold had a very nice move, closed above what I thought was a small resistance just before the gap zone, basically one level until it's hit 350. One nice day away from hitting its old 52-week high, 8%. That's quite a bit. But today did quite a nice move, over 5%. So another big day like today, and then we're ready to make new 52-week highs, clear 350, and then basically test four, 380 and then 440. But this one is not worth too much. I kind of put it in the same category as Metalla, a little risky or a little less worthy of my money. So B2 Gold and Metalla are worth the least. Metalla more is worth less than B2 Gold, but yeah, otherwise B2 Gold is reacting quite well to gold there today, so can't complain too much. And I expect it to continue. Gold starts to test 3,500. B2 Gold might just be at $4 by then, honestly. The one that stole the show with S was SBSW, Sibanye Stillwater. Just I was wondering, is there news? And then I saw platinum, palladium, and okay, that explains that. If we have any continuation in those metals, we're going to test six. I've got my set at 588, I think, 588, 589. A little trim. I basically haven't touched this one in weeks. My last buy was probably down here, and I may have done a little trim there, but really, I hardly trade this one. But my next trade will be at 588, I think, and then I don't touch it until 7. And you zoom out, this is a big one. And this move here, this is something. I think this could be the momentum we need to finally break out and make bigger moves up. So very, very excited about that. Okay, now talking about excitement. Silver. They didn't all do crazy moves. It's only 4% for First Majestic, but I was telling you how it's coiled, right? That's just what we needed. That makes sense. A nice move to sort of first resistance level, 590. Next is gonna be 630, hitting your head on the descending, maybe even the horizontal, but closing. It's about where we're closing the daily. But for a move here, that means silver's made another move. And if silver's made another move, we're probably testing that what is it, 33.7 zone, which is starting to look like, ooh, $35 going to be tested and break, and that should be enough to squeeze these silver stocks, I think. I think we should making like a move to 630 is nice, it's cool. But if you think about what that means silver's doing, maybe move to 630 is nowhere near good enough, and we should be looking at something way bigger. I have a feeling that there might be a little squeeze. I hate saying it's been a false alarm so many times, but we've had big moves. I think we're gonna have another big move, and it can happen quickly, in 1, 2 weeks. And this is what it looks like at the start. So very nice. Let's see that's your next level. Let's just, I've said enough about silver. Let's see what happens. But first, Majestic so far so good. Fortuna. Yeah, so far so good. It could have been a bit better. We just want to breach and close above here and reclaim 580. Then we can test this upper level here, 625. I think the levels are pretty clear. This one, right? Correct. This one, very simple. So let's try and reclaim that. We need silver, of course, but otherwise, remember, it's been a strong stock. The strongest stock, and I said CDE, especially yesterday, I think I said it, it's looking for an excuse to go up. And as soon as it does, it tests its old high. That's exactly what happened. Uh, Pretty much closed. Like this is ready to go. This is ready to go. Give me a reason, is what it's saying. This is pretty much the perfect chart. Just sideways consolidating and then on news tests the old high, actually makes a new high, consolidates because it's forced because of the sector. And now straight away, a little bit of good news. Bam, it's already closing that this thing wants to go to $9. Forget 8. 8 is tomorrow, like pre-market. 850, yeah, okay. Then this descending depends how accurate I drew it, but maybe it just goes for 9, something like that. This thing is ready, and this is my favorite stock. I've said it almost every video. CD is my favorite stock, even when it's going down. I just said I love it, and honestly, it's worth 1.5 times, like 50% more than the other silver stocks, any of the silver stocks, and I'm so happy. It's always worth more down here, and then since the pump, it's worth so much more. So this is just ready to go. it can go without silver, but I swear if silver runs, this thing is $9 like in 2 days. Beautiful stuff. Heckler, that was weak, but to be honest, now this little technical recovery is quite nice. We can start sort of, this reclaim, close above this, and then bam, we can sort of go back up because this is weak. This is on bad news, bounce because the sector bounces comes down because the sector comes down, but then this is how you recover from this extreme weakness. So it really needs silver to help, and then it can finally get back above, 550 and reclaim this zone. So today was good, almost 4%. That's pretty good. EXK, oh my God, it looks so much like First Majestic, no? Just go back to First Majestic, go back to EXK, leave that. Coiled, like I said, I love this sort of just going sideways down, waiting for that breakout that's sending. It's a bull, what's it called again? Bull pennant, bull flag. Bull flag is when it goes down, bear flag is the opposite, always counterintuitive. But here you go, this is just what you wanted. This is kind of what I expected, especially if silver's up. Breakout, close above it. Next stop is normally 360, but that's too close. So bam, we'll probably go for 380. We just need silver. Huh? You can't really go test 380 if silver's down 1%. So we just need silver and then basically up we go. This one, we've seen it. It squeezes quick and fast when silver moves, and I think silver's going to move. Well, I really hope it does. And if it does, then you see, just like First Majestic, just like all of them, but it's really similar chart to First Majestic. We'll see it squeeze up. Finally, Mag Silver reminds me of CDE a little bit because it had good news. Okay, it came down maybe more and it hasn't gone up as much because CDE is already back above its old high. But I think tomorrow we're testing 19, maybe even closing above 19, and then we can start hitting new highs, right? We've probably start hitting this old high here, and 20 could be a psychological resistance. But yeah, this will just propel my portfolio to a way higher level value. So I'm extremely excited. I like to contain it and not talk about it. I like to just live it. But it's really nice to see the portfolio just increasing in value. It's such a beautiful thing. And if we make new highs in the metals, then it's gonna happen even more. Let's see what happens. But really, what's that quote? I'll end with a quote, and I'm stealing someone else's quote, and I'm gonna butcher it a little bit by paraphrasing. But what is it? A bear market, a bull market is when you keep checking your stocks every day. A bear market is when you don't even bother and you stop checking. Well, I'm checking every couple of minutes, so it must be a bull market. All right, guys, enjoy, good luck, and let's see what happens tomorrow.